Woo!
Okay. Oh my God, he is just riding that thing.
Yeah! Is that a horse, you dick? Get up here and finish recording.
It's so hot out here.
Woo! Well, yeah, it's outside.
I know, it's awful.
Bessie, take me back to the podcast.
Terrible winter weather we're having. Why are we talking about winter? My apartment is destroyed.
I mean, at least we got all the stuff up here,
My stuff.
so we can still
Well, it was
record.
a nice day for it.
That's a good girl, Bessie. All right.
You named it?
Yeah, man.
It is a tremor. Don't name them.
It's a
They're
graboid.
called graboids.
And,
Graboids.
She is a fantastic steed. Thank
Weird.
you.
That's
You're
weird.
weird.
I'm
I
not
hope
weird.
you enjoy that then.
So these last couple issues, we've been talking about something very important to all of us here and to the world. Black Panther. Folks at home, if you're listening to this is our 4th issue in this arc. Our recommendation, of course, is to go back, listen to all of them in order. We were talking about Black Panther in these last 3.
Wakanda forever.
Amen. Or do they say amen?
No, they salute each other.
Well, you can only hear.
That doesn't transfer.
That was good.
Thanks.
It was
I hurt my
solid.
shoulders.
It looked like it, but it was solid.
Thank you. Now, that was something that just started. So I'd like to finish up our ending with something that is unfortunately ending, which is our another talking point, which is Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball's, for whatever reason, in this weird resurgence.
Yeah, it's coming back.
It is in a beautiful way. You know, the Dragon Ball Z series finished in I think 96. Like it was a 90s cartoon. Dragon Ball Z was, and then Dragon Ball GT. 2 warnings. First warning: this is spoilers for Super from basically this point going forward. If you are not caught up with Super, if you plan to get caught up with Super, please just stop now and finish. It's all available to you. So make sure you watch if you're interested. Now, it's the other warning is that we are not going to talk about GT at all.
Good.
I have no want to talk about Dragon Ball GT. Absolutely. I don't think anybody who likes Dragon Ball would want us to talk about GT. So I'm going to save us all some time, and I'm not going to talk about GT. What I will say is that Derek and I were talking about when we decided GT was bad. And Derek said that it's such a simple thing, but he gave up on GT when Vegeta walked in with a mustache.
Yeah,
Because
it really bothers me.
the detail is that Saiyans grow their hair, and then once their hair is in the shape and length that it will be forever, it stops growing. So for him to grow a mustache, they were just like, cannon of the fucking wind.
And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that detail comes out after it's in Dragon Ball Z. It's during the Cell, like the androids to Cell sagas. It's in there somewhere, and Trunks and Vegeta have been in the hyperbolic time chamber for like days, which to them are years, and so they come out, and Trunks, his hair is like super long, like it's still, think a bowl cut. If you haven't seen it, like think a bowl cut, which is the Trunks haircut, but then like all the way down length, like down to his chin of hair. But Vegeta looks exactly the same, and they're like, well, why aren't you any different, Vegeta? And then he explains that exact fact, and it's like, okay, cool, that's a thing that Saiyans don't do anymore.
Another thing that Saiyans don't do is they don't age physically past their prime for a really long time. Like Bulma's starting to show signs of aging, and Vegeta still looks like he's in his 20s.
Well, I was just mad that his mustache didn't come out spiky like their hair in weird geometric clumps. Also, Derek, how do you feel about Superman with a mustache? Did that also make you give up on DC films?
He didn't have a mustache.
He had something weird and blurry above his mouth.
He had a digital like
Upper lip?
upper lip and mouth region, because I mean, if you've seen the trailers for Mission Impossible, whatever number we're on at this point,
Yeah.
that was the
14.
reason he had it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big bushy mustache, so it's like they had to really cover it all up.
So
Great big bushy beard.
Okay, would Superman with a mustache have made you more mad, or would you have just preferred they didn't CG? Like you know what I mean?
So he comes out of the grave.
Right.
And
Has he got a mustache
And he's
now?
got a mustache now.
Does that
Does
make
he have
you-
like stubble as well? Or
Yeah,
is it
sure.
literally just
No, sure, we could do stubble. Does that make you more or less angry than the bad CGing of his upper lip?
I think I would be okay with that.
Would you prefer that to the upper lip?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, what
because
if it
then
was-
they could have him like... I don't know if they could have him shave after that because of how they reshot it. Anyway.
Now,
Well, in
what
the
if
comics,
it
Superman-
turned blue as he got more powerful?
Well, it would have to.
Vegeta's or...
No, I'm still on
Superman's?
Superman.
Well, in the comics, Superman comes back from the dead with a mullet.
That is true. So get a party like 90s porn stash instead.
Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing up Dragon Ball in general is because if you're unaware and you're invested in the show, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Super is actually going on what they're calling a semi-permanent hiatus on the 25th when the last episode 131 airs. And the team, this is a show unlike GT that is from Akira Toriyama again. So it's I know he and his team are working on another movie.
right, they just announced that recently.
Right, but I don't know if that's the reason, because think about all the movies that were coming out while Z was in production. So I don't know if
The difference there is that all of the like the movies that came out during Z's run and a little after Z's run that take place quote unquote in the universe, those are not canon until you get to Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F.
right.
Because timeline-wise, they can't also exist in the universe with the episodes.
Right.
Things don't... It just doesn't work out.
No, yeah. And the Super Series is... The Super Series has such an impact, and I think it brought the community together and kind of reignited that spark because of all the stuff that it's added to the series that are as memorable as stuff from the original series.
Right.
Things like Beerus and the kind of the because in like the Boo saga and even in the Cell saga they start to touch on to Kai's and like Otherworld, how is just a very small, or how King Kai's planet is just a very small pocket of Otherworld, and
Right.
it's so much larger.
Basically, Kai's being some form of gods.
But basically employees
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. Beerus and Whis are great characters.
I think so.
Beerus is the one you were telling me about that is like he is a god who can destroy the world but doesn't because he likes Goku. Is that what you were saying?
So Beerus is a destroyer god who is filled with destruction energy, who essentially just floats around and at random destroys planets. And some people believe that he is a force of chaos that cleans the planets that are whose time is up.
Gotcha.
And then some people just think that he's a pure evil.
Okay.
But he likes Goku, and he also likes the food from Earth very, very much.
So he just lets Earth chill?
Yeah, Bulma
That's funny.
actually saved the planet.
She really did.
That's true.
Yeah, good job,
That's
Bulma.
fun.
You did something for the first time since Dragon Ball. It's been a long time.
Well, the other thing that I find
Well, Dragon Radars. She
almost
built Dragon
that's
Radars.
it. It's
Yeah.
like that's what's funny at this point. Okay, I will say this. I was a big fan of Dragon Ball Z whenever it was first on the air on Toonami. I watched that growing up, and then whenever I
Yeah.
started playing Dragon Ball, I would watch that as well. I haven't watched all of Dragon Ball. I've seen almost every bit of Dragon Ball Z. And I watched the first, I don't know, maybe 12, 18 episodes of GT before I put it down and could not continue.
Right.
And then I hadn't touched Super at all. And knowing that we wanted to kind of talk about this and that I had heard really good things and interesting things. And so I have gone back and rewatched recently the Battle of the Gods film and the follow-up film Resurrection F, which are then retold in the first two sagas, if you will,
Yeah,
for,
that got a little
for Super.
confusing.
And so it was an easy way to kind of get caught up on what was going on and then be able to step into Super
Right.
without having so much filler.
Yeah, and that's a good way to do it. I mean, even the fight between Beerus and Goku in the Battle of the Gods movie is way better. It's much more concise. makes much more sense. It's more fun to watch.
You mean there's not 20 minutes of them screaming at each other before anybody finally moves?
See, Super doesn't really have that problem anymore.
No,
Oh,
they
that's
don't.
good.
The problem that it is, they trade it off. The problem isn't that they sit and scream and power up over and over and over again. Now it's, I mean, they still do that, but it's not the bulk of it.
Right.
Now they talk about how powerful each other are.
Oh, so it's endless dialogue describing each other's rippling pectorals and
it's
their
like-
power levels being over 9,000?
And like Goku would be like, wow, I can't believe that, I was able to reach this level of power. And Beerus is like, I know.
Yeah,
it's
a little
astonishing.
expositional.
But I have giant cat ears, and you haven't even seen how close my power comes. And he goes, huh? And Derek goes, huh.
And Calvin goes, oh. Which, of course, is because of how excited I am.
Because you had a heart attack?
Yes.
This is a show for children.
No,
Calvin.
no.
Watch your fucking language.
It's my heart. It's the heart.
Yeah.
You nailed it right on
You
the head.
sex pervert. So, between Beerus and Whis and the whole Universe 7 bit with which is Beerus's twin brother Champa's universe a better way to explain this would be to go over what basically happens in Super.
Well, that's what I was going to say, just to kind of kick that off, is like Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super. It's like the world that we know and that the characters know keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because as their power levels grow, it's just like, okay, well, now we have to find the next big thing.
Yeah, and moreover, it's, the limitation of Dragon Ball is about the quest to find them, and then in Z, well, now they find them all the time,
And
it's
so they
just
go to another planet to find different ones.
right, and now they're going to different universes to do. So the plots of Super are: the beginning is the Battle of the Gods. Beerus awakens after 37 years of a nap, and he has a dream about the Super Saiyan God, and that's his challenger, and he wants to go find him. So he goes and he finds him, and it's Bulma's birthday, and then blah blah blah, they fight, and then after their fight, it's Frieza comes back, and then after Frieza comes back, they kick the shit out of Frieza and kill him again, and then after they kill Frieza again, it's again spoilers. I told you twice. After they've killed Frieza, it becomes the Tournament of Champions, I think, is the first one, and then it's the Tournament of Power. Tournament of Champions is just a friendly wager between Beerus and his twin brother Champa, who is the Destroyer God from Universe 7. And they fight, and that's when you get introduced to, I would say, the series' first cool new supporting characters, because Beerus is almost one of the main cast at this point.
Yeah.
But you have, like, from the other universe, you have, like Hit is a really good example of a character that him and his abilities are hugely popular.
Now, I don't know him at all. I haven't, in case you haven't picked up on this, people who are listening to this conversation, I am not caught up on Super whatsoever. At all. Not a single episode, and movies, nothing. Which I'm okay with, because I'm
lazy.
I'm learning here.
Stupid.
And what I do know is that I watched you, PJ, play this new fighter, Dragon Ball Fighter, the video
Fighters,
game.
yeah.
For like hours. Hit is awesome.
Yeah.
And is super incredible. And I watched PJ play, and I was like, who is that? Like, obviously he's one of the few that you wouldn't know if you haven't seen this new one.
Right.
And so then he spent like an hour telling me about how cool Hit is. I'm like, oh my God.
And that's such a cool thing that they do with Hit, because in Z specifically, up until Gohan goes to high school, which I realize is everybody's least favorite part of the entire series,
Bad.
he's the Saiyaman.
That's awful.
And he's
Yeah,
great.
that was
But he goes, you kind of see more into the world, because before that, it's usually just Goku's house, the Capsule Core lab, or somewhere in the
city
daytime.
that's about to get destroyed.
with
right.
rocks and valleys, and they fight there.
But when
Master Roshi's Island.
Yeah,
yeah.
when he goes to high, but it's all like kind of rural, Asian places.
Dende's.
The
Watchtower.
yeah. And then at some point Namek. But the point I'm making is it's very, it's all very rural, and none of it's very urban. And then you have, he goes to high school, and you kind of see more of the world. You see that there are other people who live every day in this universe, which is something they never really introduced. With Hit, it's something like, oh, the only conflict in these universes isn't just martial arts tournament attacked by martial artist monster. Martial artists and martial artist alien have to go martial arts this martial arts monster to death. Like, Hit represents like, oh yeah, there's crime, there's assassins, there are mafias and police and not Krillin as a police officer, but like
no, but also who is Bulma's contact who's in the
Jocko,
yes,
the intergalactic space cop.
Ding.
He's
Toes.
great.
You were really cute just now, Derek.
Yeah.
He's cute all the time. He's our bear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which, there's a character in the tournament of
Yeah.
champions who looks like Pooh Bear.
He does. He's a giant Pooh Bear man, and he can't be moved.
That he cannot.
Yeah. And then there's Frost, who is Frieza's slightly more evil counterpart.
He looks cool though.
He does look cool. I like his design actually more than Frieza's.
Same here.
Because I don't like my heroes with weird. I love Frieza's final form. I hate Golden Frieza. It is ridiculous.
It's gaudy.
It's like he's gold, and I could have handled it if he was gold because it's so perfect for the character. But then it just has like a purple face. And it's just like, what the fuck? It's hard to distinguish detail because he has like a Beerus level purple face with a shimmering gold shell. It's like, what the fuck are you?
Now that's actually kind of brings up a good point that I really picked up on in this is I think that Goku and Vegeta's costume design for all of the Tournament of Champions before the last 4 episodes, the filler episodes, they're in these uniforms that are my favorite costumes that they've ever been in.
Yeah, Bulma gives Vegeta a gray outfit, and Whis gives. Derek and I were talking about last night. Dragon Ball Abridged gives it the name Clothes Beam, which they have so many powers in the show that are then never ever discussed again. Like Goku shows up at one point, and I don't remember where it is and when it is in the show, but it's on Namek. He shows up to Namek and he touches Krillin's head and like reads his mind. And understands everything that's going on, but then he never does that again.
Yeah, until you said that, I was like, I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
But that would have been so helpful way too many times. But that never happens again. But Piccolo can point his green finger at somebody and clothe them with chi power. And that's Clothes Beam. It's the best part about Abridged, but it's also the best part about Z.
When you said clothes beam, I thought you meant that thing you hang your clothes on in a closet.
No, Piccolo has the ability to dress children
I heard
with
you.
his finger.
I just imagine Piccolo running around with that part of your closet that falls down when you hang up too many jackets.
I mean, he does. He has that.
Oh.
It's what he uses to make his shoulder pads so spiky. But you have a lot more characters that get developed over the course of this series, and then now we're at the and it goes into the Future Trunks saga, which is about we're talking about Super, which is Goku and Vegeta are visited by Future Trunks again, who makes a reappearance, which is all up Derek's alley. And Future Trunks is like, hey, so in my future, after we defeated the androids, there was nobody really left to worry about, so everybody kind of disbanded. And then a god-killing god named Zamasu takes over Goku's body, renames himself Goku Black, and kills everybody. And so they have to go fight some Goku clone in the future. And Goku Black is also crazy popular enough to make it into fighters as well, which is a big deal for him having been a very, not a minor character in the series of Super, but a minor villain in the grand scheme of things. And he got a place next to, fucking Frieza. Granted, so did Captain Ginyu, but, it's the baby steps.
Yeah.
I wish that Captain Ginyu, you played as a frog. That would have been great.
And then they have a crossover, a la Marvel versus Capcom, but it's Marvel versus Z Fighters, and it's Thor as a frog and Captain Ginyu as a frog.
And Spider-Man is a pig.
Yeah.
And normal Nappa.
And Bat Cow.
That's DC, buddy.
Yeah, there's another cross. It's 3. It's
so
a 3-way.
Marvel versus DC versus Dragon Ball versus Capcom versus Soul Calibur versus Calvin.
Yeah.
And Calvin gets his ass whipped.
Dude, I'm down because they will kill me.
I'm picking you every time.
Yeah. Anyway, so after the Future Trunks bit,
Hold
basically...
on.
Yeah.
Dylan, Is there any explanation why future Trunks in Super, has blue hair instead of purple hair?
That I actually don't know. It's not something I didn't even really think about it.
I think the same.
It's all I think about.
I think it's the same thing of like Goku's training shirt isn't blue anymore. It's
Right.
more like a dark navy. I think it's just
I
this
don't have
new
a problem
production
thinking
team.
that he can change his shirt, though.
Trunks can change his hair, you idiot, from purple to blonde, just like
Wait,
that.
Also, is this the same future Trunks that originally came back?
Yes.
Or is this because they changed that future by saving Goku? This is a different
I don't
future
know
Trunks.
because it's fucking time travel, but I assume it's the same one because he has memories of his last visit.
Okay, never mind.
So, then we move from that into what is essentially, there's filler, of course, but then we move into the Tournament of Power, which is there are 12 universes, and each one that adds up, each pair that adds to 13 are pairs. So 7 and 6, 1 and 12, 2 and 11.
Whatever else would add. Yeah.
They become the opposites of each other, and they have a lot of the same things. So the most powerful thing, who is this weird little ugly motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. He looks kind of froggish.
They
It's kind of like a plush doll.
yeah. He and his future self. I think his name is Xenu. Or Zeno.
Zeno.
Yeah,
Zeno.
Zeno.
Because after a certain point, they only have a Japanese dub. So after a while, you just get lost in translation.
Right.
But he and his future self basically hold a tournament of all known universes to fight each other. And then as they lose, they just erase their fucking universes.
Wow.
And it's
Which is extreme.
it's awful. Like the saddest moment in the show so far is like Hit and Kefla, who is just awful. But the point is Universe 7 is no wait, we're Universe 7. Sorry,
Yeah.
Universe 6 is just fucking gone now.
What?
Like whoop, bye, and they're all sad and like crying and shit. Well, some of them they're mostly happy, but they die. Is the point.
Right.
And so Vegeta makes a promise with Goku that if they win these Super Dragon Balls, the idea is that they're going to bring the rest of the universes back. But then you have
Vegeta has that idea.
Vegeta has that idea because in Universe 6, there is a young Saiyan.
Right.
And in that timeline, in that universe, the Saiyans never got their homeworld of Sabala never gets destroyed. And so they never become like fucking marauders.
Okay.
They're like a peaceful, actual warrior kingdom, and they're pretty well respected. And so Vegeta promises that kid that if Vegeta's going to win and bring them back, because they're his people, essentially, is his motivation, which is normally his motivation, is Saiyan pride.
Vegeta also picked him up as a sort of mentor, didn't he?
Yeah, they have a fight in the original Tournament of Champions, and Vegeta kicks the shit out of him, and he's like a little kid too. He's like 12. He wrecks his, and he swears on his mom. He just wrecks it.
He looks like the flashback episode, like from Dragon Ball Z, the flashbacks of Vegeta as a kid
Yeah.
A little
before
bit.
Planet Vegeta gets blown
Yeah,
up
blown, a whole planet.
by
That's
Frieza. Yes.
well, by Dodoria. But the point is that so they all get blown off, and man, that's just worse. They all so the universe are being erased essentially,
Right.
And so now you have the two universes that are left, which is 7 and 11. Oh, thank heaven. It's 7-11. But on Universe 11,
What else do you need?
yeah, the last couple fighters that were left were Android 17, Frieza, Vegeta, and Goku. And they were up against two characters from Universe 11, Topo, who is training with... Topo is a giant, weird bear-looking man with a big mustache and giant arms. And he was training with Belmod the Destroyer, who is that universe's Beerus.
Does he look like Paddington Bear?
No, straight up, he is a clown.
Oh.
No, he is a clown. In clown makeup with a clown nose and clown hair. He is a clown.
And that's Universe 11, right?
Yeah, it's super weird. But they have this group in Universe 11. All their fighters are part of a group called the Pride Troopers. And Topo is their leader, who is training with Belmod to become a god of destruction. So as they're all fighting, he turns into a god of destruction, practically murders Frieza. And then do you remember the thing that Vegeta does to kill Majin Buu, where he detonates essentially and blows up a giant hole in the rocks and dies as a result?
Right.
He fucking does that shit, but from Super Saiyan Blue, and then survives it. But that's what knocks Topo out of the ring, which means that he officially was stronger than God of Destruction, which, as a Vegeta fan, was a good moment for me.
Well, he was also punching through the God of Destruction chi, like Topo's energy attacks. Vegeta was just swatting him off.
Which is essentially the destruction power. If it touches something, it demolecularizes it. It destroys it.
Right.
And he's punching through that shit. They really give it to they give a lot of wins to Vegeta this show.
They also make him a little bit more sensitive than he has been before.
Yeah, he like a wife. He like a wife and love the kids. You know,
like he does, but I like that about it. Like he's had an arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Goku is the same. He is the same that he's been since he was a little kid. He's just happy-go-lucky. He finds somebody who's stronger than him. He trains until he's stronger than that person.
Kind of cute and dumb as a box of rocks.
Yes.
You know?
I will say, watching it, it doesn't really feel like the same Goku that I would watch from Dragon Ball Z.
Not anymore. He has this like
I can't
almost
really put my finger
cockiness
on
on it. Like he has a sort of attitude
Mm-hmm.
that he's like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win. And then when he starts to lose, he almost comes back in a way where he's like, oh yeah, I have to learn how to, like, especially with his first fight with Hit is kicking his fucking ass, and then he starts having fun. But for most of Goku's fights, he's just like, oh well, I'm just gonna hold back and see how long you last.
Well, that's always been Goku. That's pretty much the Dragon Ball Z trope. Is, hey, I'm beating you now. Well, I was holding back. Well, now I'm beating you. Well, I was holding back.
Right, but beforehand it was he's holding back to preserve the fight. Now it seems like he's holding back because he doesn't think he needs to put it all out there. Like, it's not a... Whereas Vegeta will immediately go Super Saiyan and just start knocking the shit out of somebody, Goku typically hangs back. But that's always been like a way to preserve the fight, I feel. But now I don't think so. Now it just kind of seems like that's the difference in Goku to me. Is that,
you know what I think it is? I think it's we're finally seeing Goku really get his shit handed to him.
Oh yeah,
because before, like you said, he was holding back, or then he'd pull out some other form. But like against Jiren, it's been kind of helpless.
Yeah, it's been pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Jiren is a character who that we have to talk about.
Oh yeah,
because he is the new Deus Ex Machina. He is the new wall that has to be broken down. Jiren the Gray is a Pride Trooper, which again, that's what this group of people are called, and they all have a gimmick. Jiren's gimmick is that he is stronger than the gods. He just doesn't want to do that. That's not his thing. He's here for revenge and to get the Dragon Balls for a wish to bring back, we assume, his family after this last episode. But he is insanely powerful. I mean, Vegeta breaks out of Super Saiyan Blue into Limit Breaker, where he has pushed himself into basically a new level of Super Saiyan God. Mm-hmm. Beerus mentions, wow, like that is a significant difference, and he still gets his ass kicked by Jiren. Fucking Goku goes Super Saiyan God and then Kaioken 10, and still gets his ass kicked. Calvin, Kaioken is a technique that Master Roshi teaches Goku, where essentially the levels of Kaioken, each level, your power, your speed, and your energy are doubled by or are multiplied by that amount.
Is that, you think, where they got the basis for the charge up in Fighters? Or is that just a meter?
That's just a meter, I think.
Okay.
But like, for example, if Goku is in Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan or Blue, and then he goes Kaioken 10, that is 10 times the power output of his God form.
Gotcha.
So it's crazy.
Amazing.
But it's for a short amount of time. You burn off your energy very quickly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then Jiren knocks the shit out of him. It's like nothing. And so now Goku is in something that Toriyama has planned for Goku for a while, is what I read. It's called Ultra Instinct. It's something that the gods all try to master to be the ultimate fighter, because you have to have God chi to do it. Mm-hmm. And all these gods of destruction and stuff are all trying to figure out if he's actually unlocked it, where essentially the body is able to tap into the energy around the fighter and only focus on the fight. no information is input or output except for fighting.
Yeah, it's like a reflexive state where it's just the body reacting before the mind thinks.
Right, and for the majority of the fight with Jiren in this last episode, Goku's eyes are shut. And he is knocking Jiren the fuck around.
It gets
Jiren's
epic.
starting to sweat, which I'm happy about, because I do not like Jiren. A lot of people like him. I cannot stand Jiren. Because he doesn't really have a character. His character's kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm stronger. And it's like, well, I get that, but why should I root for you?
There's a little moment between him and 17 where we think that 17 sort of figured out what Jiren's deal is with his family, about how assuming that Jiren's wish is going to be for trust again. And Jiren sort of shrugs that off, and so now we're back to not really knowing.
Yeah, which is a little, because we got his whole backstory in that episode.
Yeah.
And then immediately Vegeta's like, you're emotionless. And he's like, I am. And it's like, well, what the fuck? I do love 17 in this, because that's the one
they
thing.
brought him. They gave him a good
Character.
yeah.
For the first time. Because in Z, 18 is like kind of scared. And 16 is the gentle giant. He's like
Right.
fucking Frankenstein. But 17 is just an asshole the whole way through. And now he has a real like character. He's the fucking MVP. Without him, the Goku's universe would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
He saves Vegeta's fucking shit. It's great. But yeah, so the cliffhanger that we're basically left on from this last episode is Goku has become full Ultra Instinct. He has unlocked the ability to, he's mastered the Ultra Instinct state. So he's not glowing gray. His hair and his eyes are silver now, which is.
I was about to ask, does he have a new form with
It's
that?
pretty much that. He's still bulky, like a Super Saiyan level of bulk, but his hair is the normal cut, not the Super Saiyan cut. But it is glowing silver, and his eyes are silver as well.
Okay.
Which I noticed that's the same with Whis and the rest of the angels. I think
that's how because it's revealed that Whis is an angel, is what his job is, and it's revealed way early in Super that Whis is Beerus's teacher.
Yeah.
Who teaches Beerus how to use his energy and to fight.
That is explained in Battle of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'm not sure, but I'm assuming the angels have their base state is pretty much Ultra Instinct,
Which would be fucking dope.
yeah.
Because I love Whis. I think
Yes.
Whis is a cool character, and I like how powerful Whis is always shown to be.
Which we haven't really seen. It's pretty much been assumed.
My favorite bit with Whis, and the only time they really show how skilled he really is, Vegeta and Goku are both in Super Saiyan Blue, and they are trying to land a hit on him. No, I think they're just in normal form. I
think they boost up to blue.
Yeah, it's an unimportant detail. They're fighting Whis as best as they can, and Whis is not throwing a single hit, is just no form, nothing, just moving out of the way of every hit. And he's like, you have to learn how to react without your head. You got to figure out how to put your body in the way of your head, and then basically explaining what Ultra Instinct is. And he goes, I mean, I'm so good at it, I was able to sign both of your uniforms, and that's where that fucking symbol comes from.
Yeah.
Is he fucking marked them in the middle of a fight?
Right, that symbol on their chest on their uniforms now.
Yeah. But so that's a good point, and I hope so, because again, I'd like some validation for why the Angels are so fucking badass.
Again, I'll go ahead and throw a spoiler in front of this just in case. There's rumor going around that Goku's not going to make it by the end of the season, that he's going to die at the end of it.
Which would be what, the 10th time in
Yeah, no,
recorded history?
I'm pretty sure he dies at the end of like every arc.
He definitely dies at the end of Cell. He dies with Raditz.
He died at the beginning of Dragon Ball
Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Z, right?
yeah.
But he like died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like 6 episodes in.
He dies. No, he doesn't die with Boo. Like
Well,
he's
he was
alive at the
already
end of it.
dead.
He's died. He's died in Super.
Wait,
Hit kills him.
Grand Kai brought Goku back to life. He gave him his life force. But no, he didn't die at the end of the Buu saga.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
He disappeared and trained Oob, that's what it was.
Yeah, but then he definitely Hit kills him. Like, it's kind of a cheap thing because he like shoots his energy into a ball up in the air and then Hit punches through his chest and then it lands back in him and heals him, I guess. But I count that as a fucking death because like Goten and Gohan show up and they're like, Dad, no, and Piccolo's like, I'm sure he did something. I'm sure something's gonna happen and he's gonna be alive again. Close beam. But yeah, so the cliffhanger that we are on right now is that he has mastered Ultra Instinct, and Jiren and he have this last episode to fight, and one of the two of them are going to win. And whoever wins, their universe is spared. Whoever loses, their universe is destroyed. Jiren has already said that he's not voting, or he's not wishing the worlds back. So the only hope for universes 1 through 10 and 12 is if Goku wins, because if not, it's just fucking Jiren.
Yeah.
So the last episode is the 25th of March. The next episode is the 18th, and then the following that's 1:30, and then 1:31 is the 25th. So in April, when we come back in, we'll see if I'm right, and then we'll see if Dylan's right. You're saying that you think he's gonna die?
Well, my point, because there was that rumor, but thinking about how maybe the angels are in that ultra instinct state, maybe Goku just becomes an angel by the end of this.
Yeah.
I think that's a rational way to go.
Yeah, I think because they're trying to wrap it up and they want to put it in a way, and I'm thinking logistically, but I think they're trying to put it in a way where if they want to end it forever, they can, and if they want to bring it back out of the pocket, they can. I think he'll win, and I think they'll do a nice closure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the way to do it, which is episode 130, he wins, and 131, they spend the full 30 minutes setting the universes back, and a nice closing. That's how I think it's going to be. We'll see, and, of course, we'll make mention of it. Well, we'll make mention of what had happened, what does happen and how they decide to end that series. I hope we get more information as to, how this is going to affect fighters. The game, because the game is kind of going hand in hand with Super right now, like with Hit being introduced and Goku Black and Beerus are all playable fighters. So I'd like to see if they add maybe an Ultra Instinct Goku as a DLC fighter. The first 2 DLC fighters were already announced as Bardock, Goku's father, and Broly, who I could give a shit. But so we'll see. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of the end of an era, because I was barely alive for Dragon Ball Z, and this is the first time that I've watched it with it for a while, and it's just kind of sad that it's ending.
Yeah, I remember when the Boo saga ended for me, I felt like I didn't know what to do anymore.
But
then GT started, and you were like, man, I wish it had just ended.
I actually started GT like halfway through the series when it was on TV, and it was
pretty rough.
Super Android 17.
I never got to him. I stopped well before that.
It wasn't terrible. I assume I was a kid.
Well,
I have just one question for all of you guys.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's mad that Goku's dad isn't called Go Dad or Go Pops?
I see what you're doing. I see what you're going for a joke here.
No.
But the only reason that none of us are like jumping on that is that technically Goku's name Goku is his Earth name, not his actual name.
His name is Kakarot. Well, I thought we were all going to yell together because we're all.
Well, I know that. I know that that's
signal.
Kakarot because all of their names are either based on vegetables or things that keep them from expiring.
Right.
Right. I don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just there's
You have the
Goku,
Briefs
there's
family.
Go
Trunks
10,
briefs.
There's Go Han,
Pan.
There's Go Away.
Vegeta.
Well, yeah.
There's Vegetable. Fucking the 2 new Saiyans from Universe 6 their names are
they're bad.
Caulifla and Kale.
Kale is just the name.
It's
of
just
a
a food.
They didn't even try. That is.
Well, it's like Garlic Jr.
Well, yeah, I can't wait until we get spinach and broccoli.
We already have those.
Yeah,
we?
Broly.
Yeah,
Broly's-
technically.
No. I'm talking
And
about
his
his
dad,
brother,
Paragus.
Broccoli, and Spinach, his son.
Well, because Caulifla was the one that was the berserker that was supposed to be sort of like
Broly. Yeah, and people were
Which-
like, this is what we get instead of Broly. And it's like, yeah, Broly wasn't cool. Stop with Broly. I don't like Broly.
Well, he was big and he was angry.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh my God, are you Broly?
I am Patrick.
It was uneventful.
It's interesting that we've actually had a conversation about like Dragon Ball Super, and it's more interesting that you, PJ, are the one that led it, with just given the fact that a few years ago you did nothing but shit talk Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z to me.
Well, no, it was because it was you and David, and that came from a place of we were at work,
Right.
and we had nothing else to do, and you guys were talking about Dragon Ball, and I was like, that's stupid. I'm not a cool enough person to talk about this with you.
And then we just sat and watched the Cell games just in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that being said, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like us as a friend group, I'd never brought that up in front of you guys for a long, long time that I like Dragon Ball Z.
Is it because you thought we'd bully you for being a weeb?
Yeah, kind of. Which Dylan and I have had that conversation as well. Is like we didn't necessarily know that the other one was interested in Dragon Ball Z until MegaCon
Right.
in
Yeah.
2015 when we went, and it was like I found that Trunks statue and I wanted it, and then he got a Gohan statue later in the day, and it was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
because I saw your Trunks, and it was by the same line that I saw that Gohan.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I'll buy that.
yeah. But it was just that I feel like it was one of those things where it was something that I liked, but no one else in the group seemed to like it, and so it was like, well, I just won't talk about it because you guys just shit talk things that I might like and you don't.
Yeah, nice Batman shirt.
So, I guess what else do we have? What is your like guilty pleasure thing that you don't talk about with the group as often because you don't want to be judged or shit talked about it?
Like nerdy thing
Yeah.
or personal thing?
Personal thing, nerdy thing, whatever kind of fits the bill there. Like one that I have talked about this, and I know it's a weird thing for me, is that I wholeheartedly love the Fast and the Furious series.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
No, I'm
awful.
kidding.
They're great.
Masterworks of filmmaking.
I wouldn't call them that, but they are
course not.
they're definitely fun. They're not my type of movie normally. I'm not a car person. I'm not like that, like, let's watch that bro movie. Like, I'm not big
Right.
on like that sort of action-y movie, but it's one of those things where like my brother rented them. My brother, who does, he does like cars a lot more than I did growing up. He rented them a lot growing up, and then he bought, the first few, and we started going to see them in theaters. And so we watched them a whole lot growing up. And so I've just grown up with the series, so I've grown up with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely like the direction that the movies went after
Sure.
the main cast came back to them.
Cool. Okay.
So, like, 5 especially, Fast 5 to me is probably the second best after the first one. Because they've also taken it's not just a car movie now. It's not just like, hey, here's street racers. It does have cars in it. It does have a lot of street racing stuff in it,
Right.
but it's like that one is a heist movie. And then
Yeah, they went from like street racing series to doing heists and stuff, and they stuck with like one car, and they were all the same color
Yeah.
for a specific job.
And then once you get into like 6 and 7 and now 8, you've just begun to realize that they're superheroes. They don't wear capes and cowls, but they do things that are physically impossible.
And
Yeah.
especially in 8, you discover how attractive Charlize Theron can truly be.
With dreads.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think my thing that I have that I don't talk about a lot, specifically in front of Calvin,
Mm-hmm.
and by proxy, our buddy Tex and our cousin Sam, something that I definitely don't talk about is how much I fucking love Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight.
Okay.
I fucking love that movie. I
Yeah.
think that movie is amazing. Best Batman movie ever made. I think it is great. And they do not. So
If you
keep
said
on
it was an
wraps.
amazing film, I would agree with you. The best Batman movie ever made is the biggest stretch of bullshit
put it
in
to you
the
like
English
this.
language. No. What you just did was abuse the English language in a way that is unacceptable.
I'll put it to you like this. Down in the dirt, you got some worms.
If you talk about Michael
Underworms.
Keaton, I'll come across this table. If you end this with Michael Keaton, I will come across this card table and I will attack you like a spider
I'm
monkey.
not going to do that.
Michael Keaton is beautiful and he was the best. He was the best Batman.
Listen, I'm not going to do that. You
Oh
got
my
some. You got the
God.
You
top
got a
layer.
better
Watch
car?
yourself, man.
You got the top layer on the top, and that is grass. And then somewhere below the grass, you got some worms. And then down below the worms, you have the aquifer. And then down below the aquifer, way down, you got dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
Now the grass,
I like that.
green grass, beautiful green grass.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Dark Knight. Down below the worms,
If you say
those worms are Tim Burton's Michael Keaton starred 2 movies, Batman
Ooh, that's-
89 and Batman
that's so
Returns.
wrong.
And then below that, the aquifer.
Yeah.
That's the Dark Knight Rises, which is odd because it was the top, but then it's number 3. And then the dinosaur bones,
Uh-huh.
those are Joel Schumacher's just neon trash cans on film.
I don't think that's fair because dinosaur bones are pretty cool.
Also, Michael Keaton's Batman is up by the moon, silhouetting the bat signal and his Batwing.
No, that's the animated series.
No, where's Batman Begins in your analogy?
I don't care.
What?
Like just somewhere. It's okay.
I love that.
I
That
like
is
that
a
movie.
better Batman movie than Dark Knight.
I think Batman Begins is
I liked it, yeah.
the best Batman movie.
Like Batman movie, it's way better than Dark Knight. Movie, that's I will openly
Batman
have
does
that
way
debate.
more Batman-y stuff. I get the Begins is supposed to be an origin story, but I don't like heroes for their origins. I like heroes for the stories that are told later on.
Okay.
And I think Batman does way more Batman-y stuff, like Fulton lifting a guy out of a skyscraper in the middle of China to bring back to Gotham to extradite him.
I think like that's not a Batman thing.
It's more of a Batman thing than, let's say, blowing up a chemical plant and everybody in it with a bunch of tire bombs. That's not so
or
much.
driving a motorcycle with machine guns on the front of it is just as bad. You know,
Okay.
some might say.
Okay. Let's pencil this for now. We'll get back to this discussion
No,
later.
you're
we were
right,
done
this is
recording.
a-
I'm kicking your ass.
That's fine.
Or that can happen.
With a
Dylan or
dumb-looking
Calvin,
cowl.
do you have a guilty pleasure series or thing out there?
See, that's bullshit because Patrick's really isn't that embarrassing.
We know what Calvin's is. It's the.
No, but I completely understand that.
No, I get it. I get
He
it.
doesn't want to talk about.
Also,
those
Patrick
particular
likes to watch
movies.
anime. I thought that was going to be your answer for sure.
I just spent fucking 30 minutes talking about anime that I
No,
like.
but Dragon Ball Z is pretty
I'm watching
cool.
One Piece right now.
There you go.
Weird. It's good, but it's weird.
yeah,
it was
Next,
weird.
he's going to move on to Black Butler, and then after that is Fruits Basket.
Next
on his
is
list.
Ranma.
I liked Full Metal Alchemist.
Everybody likes Full Metal Alchemist.
That was my childhood though. Okay, Dylan, go ahead.
Shao Tucker did nothing wrong. If you know who that is and what
I
I'm
like
referencing.
Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, but those were the ones that I grew up watching.
But what's
on-
the thing
on
that you
Cartoon
like
Network.
that you don't want to talk about?
No, I know.
And that's what I'm trying to think of.
Okay, I've got one, and it's that's why I asked you if it's nerd or personal, because like nerd is hard for me because honestly, I don't bring up steampunk a lot. I guess that'd be like my nerd answer is things that are steampunky just are not the aesthetic and enjoyment of most of you guys. So I just don't really. I try not to talk about it a lot, unless we're like doing this show, which apparently every episode I'm going to bring out at some point.
Yeah, you do. I was going
Steampunk.
to say you have mentioned.
I've been in a
steampunk,
weird like kick lately, but like honestly, it's
You
something
get like that.
when we talk, I don't really bring it up because
Yeah.
it's like mostly because our buddy Tex will sit there and make fun of me the entire time I try to talk about how great that movie was or whatever because of those aesthetics.
Fair enough.
I think that so that's kind of my nerd answer, I guess. Like right off the bat, I think my personal answer is now that we're doing I'm gonna go ahead and label it personal question with Derek.
Okay.
Which is what I think this kind of is. I think personally, it's like makeup.
Okay.
It's I do a cosplay, I do the Joker and stuff, but then I'm also like part of a Rocky Horror Picture Show, right? I'm the
Right.
assistant director. I don't know if we've ever mentioned this so far, but
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm the assistant director for Hell on Heels, which is a Rocky Horror Picture Show cast here in Tampa that we're all of us in the podcast also take a part in. There's also I am a burlesque host, and
Yes.
so like I spend a lot of my time, like honestly quite a bit of my time perfecting makeup, looking into new makeup tips, tricks, whatever, and whether it's for cosplay or for the stage shows I do, and that is not something that I bring up with my nerdy friends. That's something I bring up with like work friends and stuff.
Yeah, or your inner circle.
Right.
People who have to do with the shows.
Right. They tend to get it too. The ones that have to wear the makeup for the shows. So that's it. Pretty concise.
Something I don't talk about much with you guys is car stuff, because
That's fair.
just so far none of you have been like big into cars the way I am.
Nope.
But I'll
What about
say
that Lamborghini? It's good.
Lamborghini's good. Yeah.
Or like
There's more than that though.
That's the only thing I know. So I just said it. Topical.
But to bring it to more of like a guilty pleasure, I'm gonna say Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh wow. Okay.
dope.
I'm not too into it now. I don't watch the TV show. I actually tried to not too long ago, and it's god awful.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty big part of my childhood, and I still think the cards are cool. I liked the artwork on the cards.
I think the Yu-Gi-Oh card game was way better than the Pokemon card game, and like I know a lot of people would like
As far as to
revolt,
play,
but
yeah.
like technically it was a better game.
And comparing it to like Magic the Gathering now, it's like it's a quick game, and you don't really get to play with all your cards.
Yeah.
You know,
And
that's a good example of something that I probably should have said instead of the Dark Knight is magic, because I'm really into magic, and I don't talk about it with anybody here.
That is a good
Yeah.
one too.
true, but it's
though.
not like you
Thankfully, you don't.
Yeah.
I tried to teach Derek.
I don't like it.
You
I
did
don't
not
really
like
care
it.
for it.
I'll talk to you with that. I liked it.
Do you want to play?
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave. Let's go play.
Do you know what
Alright,
though?
fine.
The reason Patrick gets all upset about it is because he has incredible decks and he just murders you. And then he's like, "You want to play another round?" And it's like, "No, I really don't feel like having you cut my limbs off and then watch me bleed out for an hour
All
again."
I have to say to that is get good, Calvin. Get good. Oh, sorry.
Okay. We need to get an air horn.
We do. Oh shit! I have the app,
No,
but
we
that's
don't.
okay. I'll
you,
save
You've
it.
missed your moment.
I'll definitely say
It's-
it.
it's
We'll save
gone.
it for later.
Okay, well that pretty much covers everything I think for this personal question. For this arc.
Oh, my other guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I love like great weepy TV shows. And I'll give you my examples. Like True Blood, I've seen every episode. Like Scandal, I'm caught up.
Right.
Like I haven't finished Daredevil, but Shonda Rhimes' Scandal, I am caught up because I just love it.
I guess you could say that in itself is kind of a scandal. I told you it would be. And that wasn't forced at all. That came.
It was
very
incredibly
fluidly.
forced.
Well, a little bit.
Thanks, buddy. I now have cancer.
PJ, hit me with an outro.
I would like to introduce
I'm Calvin,
I'm Dylan.
I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
and thanks for tuning in to Unmasked on Air. If you like what you heard, feel free to like and subscribe.
If you'd like to join the conversation, you can reach out to us on all social media at Unmasked on Air.
If for whatever reason you want to see our ugly mugs or any of our collectibles, you can find us on Instagram.
And of course, thank you, and stay tuned for more Unmasked on Air.
Yeah, Bessie, take me away.
Where are you going?
I'm going off to fight crime on a giant graboid.
Okay, I get that, but I really need your help because
No.
we need to put my apartment back
We have
together.
to rebuild his whole apartment.
Yeehaw! Call me Sheriff Calvin.
Yeah, but God, he looks badass.